Hey, you guys hear me? Start. Hey, you guys hear me? Start cheering now.
Hear you now. Hello, everybody.
Hi, guys.
Hello, everybody.
Hi, guys. Shy guys.
Oh, what am I doing here?
I got it. It's a
Shut up.
Nintendo reference.
What else am I doing? Trying to get some things set up here to set
You feel a little man. It's really funny.
publish alert.
Publish alert. You have to shout it so people are actually alerted.
No, I refuse to. That sounds like too much energy.
Yeah, I can tell you're going to bring it today.
I told you I have a headache. Leave me alone. I have a migraine. I literally woke up with like one of those the fuzzy blurred vision. I was like, oh, good. So I immediately like jumped out of bed and
Well,
took
do
some
you want to
liquid
delay?
power.
We could do this another day.
No, calm down.
I'm worried about you. Migraine, that's rough.
I'm a gamer. I'm fine. And I don't mean gamer in the usual sense this time. Oh, I gotta turn the air on though before we start because it's too hot. I'm sweating, boys.
It's getting pretty chilly over here.
Help with
Goddamn hot in this goddamn house.
What's the weather
Wait,
in the southern hemisphere like right now?
it's awful.
Was it hot or cold?
You're asking me for some reason. I was like,
No.
I don't know. Like, oh, right.
A little bit of
Obviously, you're
Louder
asking
here.
Christian. That'd make way more
it's-
sense.
It's awful now because some days it's like hot and humid, and some days it's cold as fuck, and it's like a nightmare.
Well,
it's the worst.
It's starting to get pretty chilly here, and I'm excited. I'm excited.
You sound morning.
And Nintendo Bro wants some ASMR to help fall asleep. Is that Australia? Maybe Japan?
Makes sense. Nintendo, I bet that's
Far on your
Australia.
microphone.
I bet I'm gonna go
It's
crazy and see
lady.
New Zealand.
Okay. All right. Cool.
Oh shit!
Now I'm gonna
I think
scare
it's
him.
I'm gonna say Guam. I'm gonna say
Thailand.
Guam.
Jeff, what are we gonna mobilize? Do we have to take drastic measures to get out of Nintendo, Joe? Do we need to mobilize the fan base?
Oh yeah, what
That's
do you have
probably
to
an
do to
awful
get out?
idea.
That's probably not gonna
I
work
don't
because if
know.
it's like,
That'd
it's
probably just make them more mad.
yeah, and it's
Yeah.
like, isn't it? It's Nintendo in Japan,
It
and
is,
they're
that's
not gonna
true.
notice. It's just gonna bother whoever's like running the social media
Yeah,
accounts in America.
you're right.
Like,
They would still have to
oh,
wait. Man, I tell you what, I am starting to get to the point now. Like, hey, it's been a while since I did that thing. That wasn't that big a deal.
Yeah, I
but,
know.
what are you gonna do? I was really hoping it would have been over by Metroid time, but
no
here
parole
we
for
are.
you, motherfucker. Get out
What's
of
wait-
here.
So they still want us to do preview things. Like we were invited to that Dread OLED preview thing. We just couldn't really go because none of us were ready to travel yet, and also, we
That's a good
had one
sign.
we had one staff member leave, and we're onboarding a new one, so it was a real rough time to do that. But we were invited to that. But yeah, I think it's just reviews. We're on the naughty list for reviews right now.
I mean, if you keep leaking shit, of course.
I mean, I do want to be like, I get it. I do want to get Nintendo Japan to be like, guys, there were absolutely no consequences of that. Like, you are all completely fine. You're okay. But what are you gonna do?
Okay, are you gonna do a fucking podcast or what?
Maybe once you leave,
And that's what I'm saying. Okay.
and then actually, I
a good
really would
podcast.
like to set this
Later, man.
review, but I'm waiting for Rachel to look at it, so I'll have to do that in the middle of the show at some point. Jeff, do you have the notes open? You have Stream Elements open?
I do actually.
Very good. I
Yeah,
need
with my feeble little
to-
mind.
I need to close Final Fantasy 14. Give me 1 second. Got to put this Taffeta Shao up on the market board here. Hey everyone, if people care, I'm doing the Final Fantasy 14 preview event today. For
Nobody cares
my people care.
about that game.
I felt kind of guilty because one of the streamers I like was like, I didn't get invited, obviously, and I'm like, man, that guy should definitely go more than I should. But hey, I'm not gonna give him my spot or anything.
Yeah, of course. That's
All
that guy.
right.
All right then. I have Stream Elements open. I have chat there. I
There
gotta
we
hit
go.
record.
The embargo from our review is actually up while we're doing the show, but I think we'll be able to talk about it. Yeah. I haven't played New World yet, Nick Terra, but I didn't really want to deal with all the queues today. Which, by the way, it's like Jeff, you said this too. It's like at this point, like if the Amazon MMO comes out on launch day, the servers are in rough shape. Like that's just how it be.
Yep,
Like I
that's
know it's
just
frustrating
reality.
and annoying, but like getting mad at people about it is not accomplishing much. Clearly,
No, I mean it's just silly. You look silly now because it's obviously every game's gonna do this.
right?
Okay, Mike, I think I'm ready.
Man, that's a relatively short mic check for us this week. I think I'm ready too.
I know it's weird. I mean, that's why I say I think, because it's like we definitely. I mean, I was more prepared for the kids. The other one's not awake yet, still, so she's gonna come downstairs in a second. I'm gonna have to like help her with some things, so there will be issues still, but we should still just start. All right, yeah, I'm gonna hit the record button and then I'll hit the button. Are you ready?
I am ready.
All right, here we go. 5, 4, 3.
Hey, you guys hear me? Start cheering now! Yeah, let's get this over with. Yeah.
Woof woof. Hi, I'm Mike Minotti, and I am a Nintendo.
Hi, I'm Jeff Grubb, and I am a Nintendog.
And we are the last of the Nintendogs. Today, we'll get some final Nintendo Direct thoughts. We are talking about our favorite Nintendo 3DS games. And I'm going to ask Jeff Grubb how he is doing. Jeff Grubb, how are you doing?
Yeah, I'm good. It's we had a shorter intro before the podcast today because things went smooth, and so I'm like off kilter because of that, which feels like it should be the opposite. But I don't know. My life's going pretty good, Mike. I'm happy. I'm glad to be hanging out with the Woof Woof crew here with the Nintendogs. I'm also happy because Castlevania Advance came out, and I'm like very excited because everyone's playing that. Everyone seems to be liking it.
Yeah, I just beat Circle of the Moon. I'll talk about that a bit more. I started Harmony of Dissonance last night. It's great. The only thing I dislike are the bad people with the awful Aria of Sorrow is the only good game on this collection
Yes.
takes. And
Bad people.
I just don't get it. I don't get it.
Me
Circle
neither.
of the Moon is clearly a very good game.
Yes.
I think people just like Aria of Sorrow the most. I'm not calling them normies, but it's certainly the one that is the most just like a sequel to Symphony of the Night, right?
Yes, definitely. And
Yeah.
and they're normies, yeah. Right?
They can't
Yeah.
handle the slight deviations to that
Yes.
formula that Circle of the Moon has.
Yes, exactly, and it's they're cool. They're cool attempts at other things, and it does. But people are like, it's so different. It doesn't even feel like one of those games. I'm like, I don't get that. That's not how I feel at all.
It's still very clearly a Castlevania, like Metroidvania. It has a little bit more of like some of the like OG Castlevania flavor there with like the sub weapons. I like the card system a lot, and then I was actually surprised. I forgot that Harmony of Dissonance straight up has the Super Castlevania 4 style like whip where you hold it down and you can like kind of move it around with the. That's pretty neat.
Doing it in all the different directions. I remember that. I can never remember which one is which. Like, because Circle of the Moon is the one where it like swings in a circle, right?
It just swings. We just hold it down and swings, which is also pretty much just as effective, really.
Right.
But it is cool to have the kind of weird like whip action thing.
Yeah, the physics.
Also, I want to say right now that the whole, people like it's so annoying how your character is highlighted in Harmony of Dissonance. I think that is one of the biggest nothing burgers in gaming.
It's not
as much
annoying.
as I've heard people
It's
complain
ugly.
about that.
Yeah.
It like forever. It doesn't. Well, even in Circle of the Moon, I usually use one of those abilities that just highlights my character anyway.
True.
It's
Good
like,
point. Yeah.
Like whatever.
Yeah.
I think it bothers me about 0%.
Yeah, it doesn't bother me, and really compared, like you get used to it really quick because you're looking at that character all the time, and you're right. Like if you're using a special power in one of these other games, a lot of times they're just glowing in a similar way. But I think the world was a little bit too bright to go to right after Circle of the Moon, like in terms of it was just like shining a light on your eyeballs with color. It's fine. It's a different take, and I know why they did it. It was a technical reason on the Game Boy Advance, not the SP. But it's still good now that I'm playing it more. I still like Harmony of Dissonance a lot.
Poor Radu, literally a moment before I said how it's not a big deal, he complained that he was bummed out that they kept the border in Harmony of Dissonance. Right. So I don't want discounts to people who find it annoying. It just does not really bother me. I like get why they did it practically back before we had the backlight and everything. But
Right.
even still, it's not that much of an issue for me. I'm over it. But anyways, Jeff, well, let's get it going into the news here. And then again, after that, we're going to talk about our favorite 3DS games, which is going to end the series here. That's going to be every one of the major Nintendo consoles. But if you want to tell us about your favorite 3DS game and you aren't in our Discord channel, you can send us a super chat and we'll include it in the discussion. You can also ask us a question in the super chat if you want, and we'll be getting to questions actually in between the news and the 3DS segment here. So let's start with the news, Jeff.
Sounds good.
Before we go to the direct, I do want to bring up that so Nintendo and Universal officially announced the Donkey Kong expansion for Super Nintendo World at Universal Studios Japan. That's opening in 2024. Now, I think this was straight up big like news to a lot of people, but you have me, and I think everyone who's been listening to the show have been listening to Games Beat the Sides. You know that I've been saying that this was coming.
Yes, that's how I felt.
Time.
I'm like, Mike told me about this like years ago. It feels like.
Yes, there's one thing I'm on top of. It's the theme park news. So what this is, and they said it's gonna have. They gave some vague details. It's gonna have a roller coaster and shopping and stuff. It is gonna be a straight up Donkey Kong Country like minecart roller coaster. And the kind of gimmick here is that the track's gonna look like you're jumping over like the gaps, like in the Donkey Kong kart level. Yeah, because so the way it works is your actual track is either to the side or below the main track, and your train's actually connected to that. So that's how it can look like you're jumping over these gaps.
Oh,
and stuff
cool.
like that. Right
now, Mike,
so,
is that too spooky for you?
Might be. I mean, the gap jumping thing is not. My only concern with roller coasters is the size of the drops in inversions. Really, inversions just not going to happen. The drops, I need to take a good look and make sure we're all good there.
Okay.
Yeah. And to be clear, they're just calling this a Donkey Kong expansion. It's Donkey Kong Country theme. I think like Funky Kong's plane is even going to like be a set piece that you can go look at and stuff like that.
It is strange how we've gone from Nintendo being like, that's not real Donkey Kong. Or at least, okay, maybe Shigeru Miyamoto was the only one saying that. But Shigeru Miyamoto was like, that's not the real Donkey Kong, to like him being directly involved in both the theme park and the movie. And now Donkey Kong Country characters are just straight up in both. Like they're, yeah, Funky Kong, and then Cranky Kong, played by Fred Armisen, is going to be in the movie. It's just it's so weird. Yeah.
Yeah. So Nintendo World, excuse me, Nintendo World in Hollywood, I don't think is ever getting this expansion. I don't think there's room for it there. When they build the Nintendo World in Orlando, and the third theme park that they're building right now, Epic Universe, it should open with this this part of the park. So the one in Orlando will open with all the stuff that's already in Japan. So the Mario Kart ride, the Yoshi ride, and all that stuff there, and this Donkey Kong expansion.
Yeah, I'm excited. Actually, the other day when this news got announced, I started like putting some of the videos on, like YouTube videos of the Japanese theme park on the TV, and the kids started watching. But my wife started watching, and she was like, "Oh, this looks so cute!" And she saw the restaurant. I'm like, "Oh yeah, well, like, we need to go." And she's like, "Yeah, maybe we should just go to the Japanese one." I'm like, "Yeah, maybe we should."
So I'd be so mad if you go to a Nintendo if you go to Nintendo World before me. Oh my gosh, I like watching the videos of people walking around. I've been avoiding the ride like first person videos because I don't want to be spoiled there. Per se. I'm holding out my hope that I'll get to do it. But I would love to go. I feel bad because there's obviously a lot of things I should do in Japan that are culturally way more important than go to its theme parks. But I really want to go to its theme parks. I want to go to Universal Japan, and I really want to go to their Disneyland because they have an amazing Disneyland and they have an amazing second park there, Disney Sea. That's unlike any of the other parks that we have around here. Yeah, Jeff, let's keep the kids home. Me and you go to Japan.
Yeah, there we go. All right,
we're making content.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. We'll get us a sponsor, and we'll do it.
We'll go in the woods and gawk at dead bodies, and we'll become famous and millionaires.
Yes, that's right. And then we'll have to box each other and get even more money.
Box each other.
Yeah.
That'll go well.
Yeah, that'll go real well.
All right, Jeff. So the Direct happened about a week ago now. I think a lot of people have come off it. We did a live stream thing of it there. I just wanted to know kind of if you had any more big thoughts here. I wrote down some of the highlights. We don't necessarily need to go through things one at a time. Now, I think everybody knows what happened on the Direct. What do you think was the most exciting thing that happened?
It was Kirby and the Forgotten Land. It was 3D Kirby. That's the most exciting thing for me. I like Kirby games. I played like Kirby's Dream Land on Game Boy when it first came out, really liked it. And then Kirby's Dream Course, something I started playing again this week. It's like, that's fantastic, one of my favorite games of all time. And then but also always thinking we're never really going to get a full 3D platformer Kirby game. And then they just announced it, and it looks great. I hope that it falls closer to Mario than just like a very, very simple 3D platformer, but kind of I'm not gonna look a gift horse in the mouth. Is that how you say it?
Sure, like you did with Metroid Dread.
Like I did with Metroid, right? Yes, I'm just gonna be happy this is coming and hope for the best, and that's where I'm at with this right now. But yeah, how about you?
Yeah, I'm really excited. I think I've ranted before on this show or GameSpeak Decides about how I wish they would just make a Kirby 3D platformer. We had some false starts. I think there was one in development back on the GameCube. They just abandoned it because they couldn't get it to work. And then on the 3DS, there was like that downloadable Kirby game. It was really, you could call it more top-down Kirby than a Kirby 3D platformer, but almost seems like it was an experiment, right, to kind of see how things work here. But yeah, I do hope that there is enough complexity here to make this interesting, right? So I want it to be more like Mario Odyssey and less like, say, Wario World, I suppose. You're right. Like that's the one comparison I think of is they did do a 3D Wario game, and most people don't really remember it because it wasn't fantastic. It was okay.
Right. And things have changed though too, right? Like things have been like I think Nintendo's okay with this specifically because Mario sold so well for 3D Mario games. So they're like, hey, 3D games. Turns out the kids that grew up playing 3D games don't even think like twice about it. They're just like, yeah, we want our games to be full 3D. But when like Wario World was coming out and a lot of like the 3D Mario games were coming out for most of that time, it was being played by adults who grew up on 2D games, and like if you like grew up on 2D Mario and you were coming back to video games, you're like, oh, I love Mario, I'm gonna try Mario, and then you went to go play a 3D game, that might be difficult for you. I imagine Sunshine was especially challenging for people like that. But now we've come so far to the point where these kids are just growing up playing Fortnite. Dual stick is nothing to them.
Fortnite. Yeah, there was that GIF going around of like the kids playing Fortnite and like building the skyscrapers while they're doing it and stuff. And it's like, this is what kids like, and it looks like the most complicated game in the world.
Yes, exactly. And so yeah, you can give them something more complicated than what Kirby has traditionally been, and it'll be just fine.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Plus, there's already the I don't want to say Kirby baby game, but there's a Kirby baby game on Switch already.
Yes,
right? So
exactly.
That's there. That exists. So let's go. Let's do this. I am very excited for it. I've at times really liked Kirby. Like Kirby Superstar is one of my favorite games. The 3DS Kirby games were very good. We'll probably be talking about those later. So I am all about this. I was super excited when this happened. This is going to be fantastic. I'm glad that even aesthetically, it already stands out from past Kirby games.
Yeah, it definitely looks like Kirby Automata and stuff. Yeah, yeah, it has that vibe.
So yeah, I'm very excited about that. Jeff,
Mike, I'm upset. I'm upset.
Wow,
Still,
what's wrong? I was about to say, have you come to terms with the movie cast? Apparently not.
Listen, I was so shell shocked when they announced Chris Pratt, and I just I couldn't even register the rest of the cast. The rest of the cast is also bonkers, but like it's not as inherently hilarious as Chris Pratt as Mario. After we did the stream and stuff, there was a million memes. But the best thing was that someone like a year ago tweeted, they're not going to use Charles Martinet for Mario. They're just going to be like, and there's not going to be any reason for it. And they're just going to cast someone like Chris Pratt. And it's a funny joke because that's absurd. And then they did exactly that, which makes it even funnier. I'm not over this. Like, I'm not upset. I just can't get over how just weird and hilarious it is. I don't think I'll ever be over that, but it was truly a one-of-a-kind moment, like a unique moment to be streaming live and have that happen. I guess if people weren't watching, I nearly died when this happened.
Yeah, there's two great reaction moments from us. There was that with you and me when Kirby started walking in 360-degree movement.
Right.
I got excited.
Yeah. Mike got up and was cheering, and I bent over in laughter and almost passed out when they announced Chris Pratt.
Even the voice cast here that we like Seth Rogen as Donkey Kong and Jeff Black as Bowser, it's still weird.
Right.
It's still bonkers.
When Donkey Kong starts talking like Seth Rogen, it is going to be odd. But whatever, it's a big Hollywood animated movie. I get this.
I think the reason why I didn't almost die like you did is I watch a lot of cartoons, right?
Yeah.
I'm so used to stuff I know of course they're just gonna throw as many Hollywood people as they can at that. It's weird, it's a little embarrassing because we know video games often make more money than movies, right? And when they make the video game based off the movie, they ideally want the people who are the voices in the movie, because it's so Mickey Mouse, right? When they started making Mickey Mouse video games, it's not like they had to rethink what Mickey Mouse sounds like and who's going to be his voice. They're like, no, get the asshole who voices Mickey Mouse in here, right?
Right.
But it's just that no one will ever think that way about video games. It's not just, well, obviously Mario already has a voice that everybody knows, and let's just hire that guy.
They should think about it that way. But they're not going to. I get it. But it is such a contrast. Like we were talking about Guardians of the Galaxy on this show last week, because I just did the preview, and one of the big complaints there is they don't have the money to get the people from the movie, and then you flip to the other side, and it's Chris Pratt, funny enough, but so they don't have the money to get Chris Pratt for the video game, and then when you do what they were doing the Mario movie, they have enough money, they're just choosing not to use the people that already do the voices. It's such a weird, they come at it from such different angles.
Of what they're used to for budgeting, in Hollywood, well, of course you set aside a big portion of the budget to hire expensive Hollywood assholes. That's just expected. And in video games, it's this budget is so tight already, we can't start thinking about hiring Chris Pratt.
Right. And so I don't want a full movie with Charles Martinet's voice acting. Okay, first of all, you're just wrong. That's just wrong. He would do fine. He would tone it down for the whole movie. He's an actor, and he's like a classically trained stage actor. He knows what he's doing. And yeah, he definitely came up with those voices for small snippets. That's how they use the voice. He could tone it down. He is capable of that. But whatever. what does that have to do with Chris Pratt is okay? Like Chris Pratt, that doesn't make any sense. Like going from Charles Martinet to now we need Chris Pratt is just such a leap in logic that again I can't help but find it funny.
There's still a part of me that's like holding out this. I don't know if you want to call it hope, but like maybe Chris Pratt went to an audition. He's like, you guys won't believe how good my Mario impression is, and he did it, and it floored everybody, and we're going to be shocked. But I think it's going to sound like the guy from Lego Movie doing a bad Italian accent. That's what I think it's going to sound like.
I've come around. He's going to be doing a Bronx accent. He'll be sounding like he's from the Bronx, and that's that. Yes. Yeah. People. Yeah, and Chris Pratt knows what he's doing. I mean, all right, whatever. I don't know. I just to me it doesn't make any sense and it doesn't compute. But for other people, it does.
I'll wait and see it. I mean,
I'm gonna see it, and I'm not like that's the thing. Once I sit down to watch the movie, I am fully prepared for him to deliver and all that stuff. It's really not even about that. It's not about like what the final product is going to be. It is about this moment right now when you sit down and they're like, we have the cast of the movie. We're going to announce it right now. And then the last name I would have expected was Chris Pratt. And that's what they said. So yeah, that's what it's really about. Whatever. His actual performance, I don't care.
That trailer is going to be crazy. I can't wait.
Yes, that trailer is going to be a moment. It is going to be a real moment.
Anything else from this you want to talk? You know, people aren't talking about Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak very much. I understand, like, compared to a lot of this stuff, it's not very exciting. But it's important to remember that the expansion that Monster Hunter World got, Ice something, gosh, I want to say Ice Crown.
Icebreaker.
Icebreaker, thank you, Jeff, was very popular and sold very well. So I'm pretty confident that Sunbreak is going to do very well.
Yes.
It's going to make Capcom and Nintendo a lot of money. And it's probably going to make Monster Hunter Rise fans very happy.
Yes, I think you're probably right. I guess Bayonetta 3, real quick. Yeah, this is the one that I think is like, oh yeah, it looks fine, but people seem to be like, oh, it looks old. And I mean, I get that, but as long as it plays like a Bayonetta, I don't really care that much. And I thought it looked okay. I thought it looked fine.
I thought it looked a little. Sure, I thought it looked a little like Xbox 360-ish there in the intro. It looks better once it starts playing it, but whatever. I don't really care about that.
Nick Turbo corrected me. It's Iceborne in the Stephen Emo, Iceborne, and David Arline.
What did you say?
Icebreaker.
I don't know, man. I should have been like, that doesn't sound right, but I was just so desperate for an out that I was like, yes, we'll
same
go with
here.
that.
Like you said it, like I'm like Icebreaker, and then like you were just so sure that was right. I'm like, okay, yeah.
Well, it was I'll take credit for it. Crown, which I knew was from World of Warcraft, so I knew that wasn't right. So, yeah, I'll take that for sure. But yeah, I'll tell you what. So our new writer at GamesBeat who started this week, Rachel Kaiser, when we were still like in the process of hiring her and talking to her, she was immediately like, "I'm going to review Bayonetta 3." I was like, "Okay." She loves Bayonetta, and there's a lot of people like that. A lot of people are very excited about this. I think after Kirby, this is the trailer with the most views. I might just be
right. That makes sense.
Completely out of my ass, but people are going to be very excited for this, and there's little reason to doubt it's going to deliver.
Yep. I'm looking forward to it. I love Bayonetta 2, so I'm very excited about Bayonetta 3. And then yeah, the rest of the stuff was good, and then we talked about it on the. If you want to get our full thoughts, like we talked about it as we were watching it, so you can go back and watch our reaction to it as we were writing stories. But I thought we did a pretty good job of multitasking there.
All right, then let's move on from the direct. I think we have some direct related questions we'll be talking about a little bit more throughout the show here. But there's a few more news things I want to get to. Kleavor is a new Scyther evolution in Pokemon Legends Arceus. Basically wanted to do this because my brother who's in chat actually loves Scyther. That's his favorite Pokemon, I believe. So I hope he saw this. But I think I am excited that Pokemon Legends Arceus is getting like new Pokemon. Like it's not just, it's getting some of the things that they've done in the last few games where it's like the new form of this Pokemon. This is straight up a new Pokemon. It's a new evolutionary path for Scyther, who normally evolves only into Scizor, I think was his name. So that's pretty neat. Something to look forward to.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care about this, Mike, so I'm sorry.
Yeah, I know. The awkward pause tuned me into that already, but I'm glad you came out and said it.
You know what? It's a taste of your own medicine whenever I talk about something you don't care about on GamesBeat.
Yeah, that's true. I'll tell you what, every time you go on about freaking video chips or some video monitor chips, you got, and I'm just like...
Yeah, they're called Doritos, Mike. Jesus, get it right.
The video chips, yeah, the chips. But after Voodoo 2, I was just like, whatever the internet tells me to buy, I don't know anymore. I don't know. But I guess this is actually going back to the direct. But we're getting the Super Smash Ultimate Final Fighter revealed on October 5th on a separate broadcast. There, Jeff, you are putting me on the spot for this, and I have basically just said I don't know. So I'm going to ask you, who is the final Super Smash Brothers character here?
I am full bore Waluigi. I'm getting my hopes up again. I want it to be Waluigi. Anything else would be a disappointment. I think that Waluigi would be the thing that he could do that'd be like, okay, we get it. It's a meme, or you're actually excited about it. The Washington Post wants it, so I think
Man, that was the greatest mainstream news story of all time.
That really is.
You know what I'm talking about? Look up Waluigi Washington Post. It's incredible.
It's incredible. The image, the story, it's fantastic. So yeah, that's where I'm at. It probably won't be, but people are like Sora, and I just don't think it's gonna be Sora. First of all, that sucks. I tell you what,
it could be, which is almost kind of like, I like Kingdom Hearts, and it could be, and I'm like, I don't really need that. Maybe if I saw an action, I'd be more interested about it, but I'm just like, eh.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. Just a couple more days. This time next week, we'll know.
Yep, exactly. All right, and then we're also getting Animal Crossing Direct in October. Not a specific date, just October. What are you expecting here? I mean, this is getting its own Direct. Like, how substantial is this news going to be?
I think it's probably gonna be pretty substantial. I don't think it's gonna feel like when they do, like when they announce like a Smash character and a bunch of Smash stuff, and it kind of has its own thing. I think the final Smash thing is going to be much more substantial. Like it's going to be like, wow, like there's this last character, but there's probably going to be some other stuff in there. I think this Animal Crossing Direct is kind of going to be a thing where they set up where this game is headed for the next year. And there'll be a couple cool announcements, but I don't think it's going to be like mind blowing or anything.
Hey, Rachel's in chat. Say hi to Rachel, everybody, our new writer.
Hi, Rachel.
You sick of us yet? I know it's probably pretty rough.
She said she asked politely to review Bayonetta 3, and I'm like, you don't have to do that. Not with Mike.
I mean, look, I'm constantly full of lies, so you know. I'm not going to apologize for anything. All right, then. That's it for all the news here. Let's get into the questions. Again, if you have a question, you can send us a super chat. I think we got a couple of those already, or one, which I'll call a couple to inflate my ego. And we can get going here. Jeff, are you ready?
Yes. What am I doing? Stream Elements
Nothing.
questions?
We're just you're going to answer questions for people, but you're going to eventually.
Cool.
Yes, eventually you're going to have to look at super chats, but not yet. Don't worry. Don't panic.
All right. I'm not panicking. I'm here. I'm here for you.
Jayden asks, suppose Wario is in the new Mario movie. Pick a famous actor to voice him. Jeff, who's voicing Wario?
John Hamm.
John Hamm? I was thinking William Dafoe. Maybe that's a little too obvious.
No, Willem Dafoe's actually a good answer. I'm trying to stick with the spirit of the movie. I don't know. Maybe I think Danny DeVito is kind of the thing that everyone wants to go to for all of these, so I'm trying to avoid that. But Danny DeVito would probably be a pretty good Wario.
It's funny how that's a meme because it's completely reasonable. I mean, he's done plenty of voice acting, and he's just
right. And he's like a famous actor for all of his life now, for like decades, and it's like, but I don't know, he's just not hot at the moment, I guess. But he's like on It's Always Sunny and has that chaotic attitude that I think would be good for any of the characters, but especially Wario.
I feel like Wario is probably very similar to his character from Taxi, right?
Yeah, and similar to his character on It's Always Sunny. Like I can't remember like what the character's name is, but he's like greedy and like willing to like I mean, the one joke I remember from that show is like, I didn't go to Nam so that you kids could have it easy. And they're like, you went to Nam in 1991 to set up a sweatshop. And I think that's very Wario.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, exactly. But I don't know. There's probably even like John Goodman. I don't know.
Yeah, that would be an obvious. David Spade.
Yeah.
Aaron Thompson asks, do you think this Mario movie may result in a Donkey Kong spinoff? If so, who should play Diddy, Dixie, and King K. Rool? I think it absolutely can result in that. Like the fact that they didn't just get a Donkey Kong in this movie, but also a Cranky Kong. Like that's absolutely on the table.
Yeah, they're probably trying to also line it up with the theme parks. Like they're doing a Donkey Kong theme park, so a Donkey Kong movie makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, so Dixie Kong I think will be Elizabeth Olsen. Diddy Kong will be Michael Cera, and King.
Oh, that's good actually.
King K. Rool. Man, there's one. I got to think of a little bit there.
Yeah,
K. Rool.
Jeffrey Dean Morgan from The Walking Dead.
I like it. You figured it out.
Yep,
we're good. Schaefer asks, why in the hell can't I play any Metroid games aside from Super via the emulation thing on the Switch? What the fuck? I want all that Metroid injected into my veins right now. It's because Nintendo hates you, and Nintendo throws people who loves them into jail, and they don't give them the Metroid games that they deserve.
I'm glad we're just letting our feelings out now.
Right, that's why.
Yeah.
I mean, gosh, I mean, how again, yeah, how hard would it be to be like, look, we did basically just do what Konami did for the Castlevania Advanced Collection and say, hey, look, here's Metroid Fusion and Metroid Zero Mission, and as a bonus, here's the original version of Metroid 2, because who even cares?
Right.
There you go. There's a collection for you. It took a little bit of effort, but not too much, and we don't have to do much because these games are already very good. Here, spend $30 on these. You can have them. I don't know why they don't do it, but they don't.
Yeah. I mean, they're weird.
guess-
It's weird. It's Nintendo, and so they're weird. That's kind of what it is. What were you gonna say?
I guess they don't do it because they are going to have Game Boy Advance games on Nintendo Switch Online at some point, probably, right? And they're like real. Well, though they've already like made us buy Mario 64 in a compilation, and now
Right,
it's also going to be on Nintendo Switch Online. So whatever.
Exactly. I think that's what I mean. They'll be willing to sell it to us before they actually put it on the subscription service. So, I don't know. I just think that Nintendo is weird, and they're like, did we do that thing? No. Well, let's just release Metroid. I get, they might release Metroid Dread and then release some 2D compilation between now and then. I should update. I need to update a rumor that I've talked about in the past. The Metroid Prime trilogy. I've gone back and looked, and I saw Emily Rogers saying that she thinks it's only going to be Metroid Prime 1. When I go back and look, it was never explicitly stated to me that it was going to be the Metroid Prime trilogy, and so I think there's a really good chance that because it's the anniversary of Metroid Prime, or at least that's coming up. It's this year or next year, right? Is it this year?
It's 86, so it's
the 20th anniversary of Metroid Prime.
Right. Okay, so yeah, I'm not sure.
I think that
next year.
Okay, so next year, I think there's a real good chance it's just Metroid Prime, and that lines up with maybe some of the other stuff we heard about them having difficulties with some of the other games. But either way, I've heard that this was in production for a really long time and might as well be done like years and years and years. So like that part of it still lines up, and I think this probably is mostly done. But I think when it comes out, it's probably just going to be Metroid Prime 1, which is weird.
It is weird. I mean, like, yes, that's the best one.
Yes.
It's probably the best one by a margin, but still kind of disappointing. It's also the one I played the most, and there's a part of me that really wants to play Metroid Prime 2 and Metroid Prime 3. So that I think that would be a bummer. I feel like they're not prepared for how disappointed people would be with that. I think they don't understand that people are expecting a trilogy because they've released it as a trilogy before.
Right.
So I know that thing with Metroid Prime 3, we don't have the source code. You talked about this before. It's relatively easy now, right, to just make adjustments on top of like an emulation, right?
Yes, totally. Yes. And I think they're good at that. And that's what they're doing that with all of their emulation stuff. That's how they're adding multiplayer and they have other ways of adding graphical effects even. So, but I think it might just be them leaning into this idea of anniversaries. Like they really like anniversaries right now, and Metroid Prime's going to turn 20, and they're just going to like lean into that. So I think that's what's going to happen next year.
I was at the grocery store and there was like the special anniversary edition of Fruity Pebbles or something, and I was just imagining like the people on like reddit.com/r/cereal like complaining that Fruit Loops wasn't doing enough for its anniversary. I don't know why. I was just thinking about this while walking down the cereal aisle and giggling to myself.
It's a fun premise. I like it. So yeah, people like wait for it. I'm sure Nintendo will do more stuff with Metroid stuff, but for now, if you really need it, I have a website for you, or you can go get a Wii U.
Yeah,
because they're all on the Wii U.
I'll tell you what, when I get that Steam Deck, I think I'll be playing Metroid Prime 2.
And I've got a website for you. Yeah.
Nintendo Bro says, my wife has been playing a task simulator game called Township on mobile for literally 5 years now. I finally made the connection in my head that Animal Crossing might be a game she would enjoy. I have both a 3DS and a Switch, but I only own Animal Crossing for 3DS. Do you think New Leaf is a good enough introduction to the franchise, or should I go all out and get New Horizon? New Horizon does have probably like it probably is better onboarding than New Leaf does. Do you think that's fair?
Yeah, that's probably true. I think New Leaf might have like slightly more stuff to dig into. That is, if you really get into it and you're looking for like deep relationships with the animals, with like the town, with the people that live in your town, that stuff might be even a little bit more deep than what New Horizons ever got, and that might be what they're going to announce. Is like they're expanding those things here when they do that direct. But I think if you already have New Leaf, you might as well just see if she's into it at all. Because though that township game, the task simulator, whatever it is, those things are like honed to a fine point to really like hook into your brain and your dopamine release and everything, and really understand that stuff and to squeeze the most out of it. And Animal Crossing is a little bit more like, you're gonna come to us on our own pace. Like, you're not gonna be able to play this game at your own pace. So that's it's a little bit more challenging, I think, for someone to go from those really honed mobile experiences to something like Animal Crossing. But I don't know, you might as well just try it and let her see if she likes the idea at all. So yeah, put it in front of her, see what she thinks, and if she's like, oh, this is close, but I don't know, I bounced off of it, then maybe try New Horizons. But if you don't have New Horizons, I would decide then.
Mogos87 says one of the more unique games on the 3DS is Mad Dog McCree. This is kind of a little bit going on later, but this is more of a question, really. It was originally an arcade game that was later ported to 3DS 10 plus years later with touch support. Have you all had the opportunity to play this? If not, we will need you guys to stream it on Twitch ASAP. I don't think Mogos knew what he was doing here, but I actually love Mad Dog McCree. I owned Mad Dog McCree on the goddamn 3DO.
Yeah, but is this a FMV game?
This is an FMV game. It's
on 3DS?
Apparently, it got ported to 3DS, and I'm like going to go on my 3DS eShop and get this.
Okay.
This is the best FMV game, I think. I love Mad Dog McCree, Mad Dog McCree 2, Who Shot Johnny Rock. They made all sorts of these FMV shooter games. They were super fun. I remember seeing Mad Dog McCree 2 at an arcade once and being blown away actually seeing it there because I only knew it as a 3DO game. But yeah, like, this makes sense. 3DS, you just tap on the screen. Probably way easier to shoot the people. Yeah, I'm all about it. I need some Mad Dog McCree.
Yeah, I'll stream it. We'll stream it. Yeah, we'll do that. At least I want to. I'll have Mike tell me what it is. If it's just garbage and Mogos doesn't know what he's talking about, maybe we won't. But we'll stream it. Real quick, Mike.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say that Nick Turbo is mad at you for not reading his comment, but I'm sure you have a good reason for skipping over it.
Yeah, I have a good reason because I'm doing a podcast, Nick Turbo. Chill out. I'm looking at questions on our type. I'm not reading chat religiously here. If you want me to read if you want me to read your comments so bad, send it in a super chat. You're not special. You know the rules.
Wow.
You know how it works.
Wow.
But anyways, yeah, I don't know what else I was going to say there.
You were saying Mattathias is mad.
Mattathias is mad because I said it was the best FMV shooter. I don't know what the other answer is for FMV shooter. I mean, look, I'm sure Virtual Cop 3 is probably better, and like House of the Dead 2 is probably a better light gun shooter, or Time Crisis, the real best series on that. Your comment on Discord, Jeff, Nick Turbo, you make so many comments on Discord. I think I put them in here. So one of them was a comment. If it's not a question and it's not your favorite 3DS game, I don't necessarily put it down on my notes as this must be read on the show.
This is Mike's show, all right? Get used to it, Nick Turbo.
Yeah, you're in Mike's world now. You sent me something to say on Discord. Oh my gosh. I don't know, Nick Turbo. If you think it was that important, you can type it into chat there and I'll read it. I'm doing my best, everybody. All right. I got my Mikey migraine. I've got a 9-hour-long Final Fantasy 14 preview later today. Right. We're working a lot here. I'm a loose cannon. I'm a short fuse. I'm all of the generic thingamajigs. Next question. Mogos87 again. He says, I've been gone for a while, but I'm back with a topical twist on a favorite game of mine. You have to rescue one Nintendog. One Nintendog gets featured in an Arms of an Angel SPCA commercial, and one Nintendog gets sent to the farm. Our choices are Nintendogs plus cat, French Bulldog, and new friends, Nintendogs plus cat, Golden Retriever, and new friends, and Nintendogs plus cats, Toy Poodle, and new friends. All right, Jeff, rescue one.
Oh, yeah, this is
Arms
easy.
of an Angel one, and send one to the farm. French Bulldog, Golden Retriever, Toy Poodle.
Yeah, So my thing with dogs is the closer they are to wolves, the better. Because when I look at one that's been mutilated by our breeding, I feel guilty as a human. So golden retriever, I'm going to rescue. Nintendogs that gets us in an Arms of an Angel SPCA is French bulldog, and toy poodle is getting sent to the farm. And I don't feel anything. I don't feel anything.
I'm saving golden retriever. I had a golden retriever. I like my golden retriever.
Of course, golden retrievers are good dogs.
Rescued, straight up rescued. I tell you, I'm pretty ambivalent to the other two. I can't even picture a French bulldog in my head. I feel like toy poodle is closer to Penny, so my actual dog. So I'll save her with the Arms of an Angel thing. Like, she'll be like abused and sad, but she'll be alive.
Yeah, I get why you're confused, Mike. Ever since 2001, we call them.
Okay, there we go. Well, Freedom Bulldog's getting sent to the farm. Freedom Bulldog's getting murdered.
Oh, Jesus.
My dad had a dog, and my grandpa apparently. My dad, like, once my dad went to med school, my grandpa just would call him every day and be like, "Oh yeah, the dog's looking worse." And the next day, like, "Oh, it's even worse. It's not good." And then, like, my grandpa was actually just planning to shoot the dog. Like, yeah. Well, I'll leave the rest of the story to your imagination. But
fair enough.
I don't want to get too dark here, but that's the way it be back on that farm life. Anderson64 asks, does not telling us the price of the Nintendo Switch Online expansion indicate it's going to be poorly received, or more is coming alongside the update like Game Boy games? I mean, I'll tell you what, the fact that they didn't say it, I assume it's not good news.
Yeah, right. I mean, I was like $5, and you're like, it's not $5 if they're not telling us. I'm like, okay. Well, I guess it could be $10 extra per year. So it's $20 per year right now. Do you think it goes up to like $40 or $50 a year?
50 would be a bit much to expect.
Because that's right next to both Xbox Live Gold and here's the thing: if they announce like Discord style features and like really good like voice chat, and it all works natively on the Switch, maybe. But even then, I'm not thrilled about the idea of paying anywhere close to 50.
No, absolutely not. So I think 5 is what it realistically should be. I feel like 10 is probably what it will be, but I could see 20. I could see it happening. Mm-hmm. It would be ridiculous. I think there'll be backlash and they'll act shocked about it, but 20 could happen.
Yeah. I guess we'll see. I mean, they're going to keep this $20 per year tier. So if you don't care about Nintendo 64 games, I guess you're fine. And you'll still be able to play online with the $20 per year tier. So yeah, I don't know. It's strange. The Game Boy games are still going to come, but that seems like they're going to announce. They could announce that like in a tweet.
It is incredible. It's incredible that they still have to act like there's something extra premium about Nintendo 64 games. Like,
I know, that's
at this
weird.
Point, guys, like that's the same tier as Super Nintendo. Yeah, it is kind of sad. It's like, look, we like Nintendo 64.
I love Nintendo 64, but it's kind of
so
sad.
Old now. It's so old now. Like, it's not special that we're playing Banjo-Kazooie, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's good. We're happy about it, but come on, it's so old. Pinball Junior says, do you think the rumored Donkey Kong game could actually be just that, a Donkey Kong game, like the one from 81, the Game Boy game, where you're Mario trying to save Pauline from Donkey Kong? Man, that'd be interesting. Yeah. Sounds almost too interesting to be real. I feel like it would actually just be like a
oh my God.
Donkey
I just
Kong
lost my mind thinking about that. What if it's like a 3D Donkey Kong platforming game where you play as, I guess if it's if you're playing as Mario, then it's a Mario game. But I don't know, just like, I guess if they put it in that Donkey Kong universe, I don't know if they put it in that Donkey Kong universe where you're climbing up the girders in the construction sites, and that is like the universe you're in. I don't know. That could be really cool.
It would be interesting to see a Donkey Kong game that kind of went with this New Donk City aesthetic more so than like the island Donkey Kong Country vibe. I still don't really think this game is real. Is kind of my position now, but at the same time, they haven't announced Mario Odyssey 2. So like maybe that's what that team is working. I'll tell you what, if the team is working on it, the Mario Odyssey team, it's hard to imagine it's like a spiritual successor to Donkey Kong 94. I wish it was, but I don't know. I bet it's just going to be a Donkey Kong platforming game where you play as Donkey Kong. All right, Jeff, it's time for favorite 3DS games. Oh, why don't you
No,
read the
let
one
me do the super
we got
chat.
here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This one's from John Cody. Do you think there's been a rift between Nintendo and the Pokemon Company in the last 5 years, post Pokemon Go? Seems weird that they release Pokemon trailers within days of Nintendo presentations. It's not a rift. Nintendo owns a third of the Pokemon Company, so it doesn't have like full control or anything. But like, there's like, the Pokemon Company wants to run these things itself. It wants to like, its responsibility is to the Pokemon brand and ensuring Pokemon brand is like, so when they have games to announce and they have trailers to release, they do that, and then they couple that stuff with other things that the Pokemon Company is doing. And that's not always like the things that Nintendo cares about or has a full stake in. So it's just the people who run the Pokemon Company wanting to get the most out of the Pokemon brand itself and doing whatever that takes, and not necessarily trying to do things to Nintendo's very specific marching beat. So yeah.
All right then, Jeff, you ready for 3DS games?
I'm very ready for 3DS games. I have to be honest.
Jeff, what is your favorite Nintendo 3DS game?
The Legend of Zelda: A Link Between Worlds is one of the best games ever made. It's very good. I can't get enough of it. It's one of my favorite. I go back to play it all the time, and when I start playing, I can't stop because it's just so playable. It's so fantastic. I can't believe that they released this game. I remember at the time it was always like, oh, it's going to be a sequel to Link to the Past. And I'm like, that's cool. I'm looking forward to that. And it's just like, oh man, this is better than Link to the Past. This is one of the best Zelda games. Period. It's the best like 2D style Zelda. So yeah, I adore it. They like the way that they mixed up the formula of having you get the weapons kind of in any order you want by going to rent them and going to the different dungeons in whatever order you want. It was definitely a precursor to what they did with Breath of the Wild, but even on as its own thing, like even on its own, it's just so fantastic. It plays like Link moves so fast, it's so smooth, it's got cool 3D features, the dungeons were so well made. I love that game.
Yeah, that could very well be the right answer. That game really surprised me by just how good it was. Like it could have been a very simple like direct sequel to Link to the Past that just played like that game without anything else interesting going on. But they added the kind of renting items mechanic, and that sort of wall drawing mechanic was so cool. And I love when you have like a relatively simple idea like that and you just riff on it throughout an entire game to the point like you're using it in really cool and epic ways in that final boss fight, and it feels very satisfying. Like the big stand-up moment, right, was that kind of one boss in the middle where he has the shield and you can't attack him until you like imprint yourself on the shield. And he's like, "Oh, where'd you go?" That is one of the all-time like great creative gameplay mechanics in gaming history. I love that. That is fantastic.
Yeah, it's definitely the thing that like as you start talking about, I'm like, it just flooded my mind remembering that fight. It's like, oh yeah, that was great. That feeling you get when you figure that out and it works and it looks cool and they understand like what they're doing. Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, so Breath of the Wild was obviously great, but Link Between Worlds is really the turning point for the series, like being super excellent again.
Yes.
After being like good, like I still like Skyward Sword. I like it a lot still, but yeah, there was definitely a switch there.
Yeah, I mean, like a Link Between Worlds won like GameSpot's Game of the Year or something like that. Like, yeah, it was a Game of the Year contender again.
All right, my answer is actually probably Fire Emblem Awakening.
Yeah, that's a good.
I liked Fire Emblem before this. I don't think I played the Game Boy Advance games basically. I didn't beat either of them, but I did like them. And then this one just really captured me. I just really liked the story was good. The characters were fun, but I loved that whole kind of like marriage sim element of it, where it's not just like, oh, you're picking your one waifu, right? There's something tactical about it. Like this person's going to marry this person, so that their kid is like this. And like the story reason for it all made sense. It was just a lot of fun kind of going through the game, getting these social links up, doing these fights, and then like seeing what their children looks like and then putting them into your army instead because they're way stronger because they're this weird fusion of their parents. That game was super fun. Again, a really satisfying conclusion. Still probably my favorite Fire Emblem game ever. And yeah, that was a big turning point for the series. It went from being on the verge of extinction to being something that we now expect to see on every Nintendo console, like multiple entries. Like we're basically all still waiting for like a new Fire Emblem remake to come out on Switch at this point. The Switch has already had its own Fire Emblem game and its Musou game, right?
And they even like did They released an old version, not remake, but like they just released one and then like made a big deal out of it. What was the NES one? And they updated, they released it in
Right.
English for the first
The
time, or
original
whatever.
one. Yeah.
Yes, yeah, it was that. So yeah, they treat that series really well, but it started with Awakening, and Awakening's when they killed Advance Wars, although they're bringing it back, so I can't complain anymore. But they're like, hey, this works really well, and everyone was like, oh yeah, like this is a great 3DS game, and there's waifus, so I love it, and yeah, and it definitely works on that front.
I'm telling you, Advance Wars needs to push the waifus. They have waifus, but they don't do enough with them,
No.
Jeff. They need to put, like, I
Right,
understand.
you can't marry them. Yeah.
I understand it's embarrassing, but I think they have to throw their dignity aside a bit if they want to sell copies.
Your
there.
waifu game is embarrassing.
All right, let's get to some of the community answers here. What is your favorite Nintendo 3DS game? Nick Turbo says, my favorite 3DS game is Resident Evil Revelations. The part on the boat was so excellent, and the rainbow was a fun pick-up and play sort of bonus mode. I remember a lot of people were excited about this because it was kind of like more, it was like the Resident Evil 4 over-the-shoulder style, but thematically closer to the original like survival horror games.
Yeah, it was a good game. I remember playing it at the time, and I haven't had like a lot of urge to go back and play it again, but it was fun when I played it.
Eat the Hype says, oh my god, there's so many. The undoubtedly best 3DS game is Mario Golf World Tour. It's everything Mario Golf Super Rush wishes it was. Online multiplayer, online asynchronous global golf tournaments with state, country, regional, and global tours, private tournament hosting, Callaway golf licensing, a full roster at launch, 2 to 3 times as many courses, including better themed courses in the Mushroom Kingdom. A robust single player with unlockables and collectibles. Yeah, I've heard a lot of people say that Super Rush is pretty disappointing compared to the 3DS Mario Golf game.
Yeah, it is. I like Super Rush, but it's definitely much more like a family party game. Like you're not supposed to think about it in comparison to the last game all that much. It's like, hey, you got a Switch for your family to play. Come play this fun party golf game. But yeah, the more full featured golf game was definitely a World Tour. And I like that. I honestly, I feel the urge to go back to play that one quite frequently. I wonder if people are still playing those online tournaments.
Yami Seth says, I would love to say my favorite 3DS game is Mega Man Legends 3. Wah, wah. Isn't it weird how they announced that and they're doing the full-on community co-development thing? Like, haha, which design of this character do you like more? Then they're just like, we're not making that game anymore.
No. Hang on, I gotta get my kid over here. I'll be right back. Just like 10 seconds.
All right. 10 seconds. What can I play in 10 seconds? There we go. Stuck in a little hobbiting there. That's all right.
Nick Turbo, we're not gonna read your comment.
Oh my God, is he still going on about
Yes.
that? Shut the hell up!
Yeah, we're not gonna read the comment. It was like,
What do you think I'm going to do? Do you think I'm going to stop everything and start scrolling through Discord in the middle of this one? Oh my God. Fine. I was going to take me down to Parasite City where the grass is green and the hertz are 60. That's what you wanted me to read? It's
that was not worth
question.
it. Not worth it, Nick
It's
Turbo.
not a favorite 3DS game.
I'll find a level below Mod Junior. I will. I'll find him.
We just restored your privileges. It's like you don't want to be a mod anymore. It's like you don't want to be a mod anymore. You're hijacking the show. You're spamming chat. What's wrong with you? You're a bad dog again.
All right, I got my kid. We're good.
Okay, we got the kid. We've reprimanded Nick Turbo.
I feel good about it.
I think we're good now. All right, you ready for? Okay, so yeah, Yami Seth's sad we didn't get Mega Man Legends 3, but his actual favorite game is Shin Megami Tensei 4 Apocalypse, a great sequel to SMT4 and one of the best JRPGs ever made. Love the atmosphere, the dialogue, and the battle system so much. My honorable mentions are Phoenix Wright 5 and, of course, Zelda, A Link Between Worlds. Phoenix Wright 5 was Dual Destinies. I actually did like Dual Destinies a lot. I think some people are say it's like one of the middling entries in the series, but I really liked that one, partially because it just went back to making Phoenix Wright the main character after Apollo Justice, and I was all for that. So I played SMT4 and liked it fine.
Yeah.
I didn't play Apocalypse, and part of me kind of wishes I did, because I do think people generally
Is that the equivalent to like Persona 4 Golden?
No, it's actually, you see, so that's why I think they shot themselves in the foot a little bit, that name, because that's what you would think, but it's just a
That is
sequel.
what I think. Yeah.
It's just a
Oh.
sequel.
Oh, weird. Okay.
Like, using a lot of the same, it's like a Majora's Mask thing, right? Like a lot of the
Sure.
same
Yeah.
assets
Yeah.
and
But like,
stuff.
still, I mean, I just thought it would like. Well, yeah, that's what I thought, or like maybe a slight expansion, but it's a full sequel. I didn't realize that.
Yeah, no, exactly. I think they should have probably made that more clear with the naming. Jotin says 3DS has been one of my favorite systems to have growing up. My favorite game on there was definitely Mario Kart 7. First off, any Mario Kart with Coconut Mail or Coconut Mall, excuse me, is S tier. And secondly, it was just good old simple Mario Kart with a good battle mode. Yeah, I mean, like Mario Kart 8 is super successful, but it basically just kind of carried on what was started Mario Kart 7, right? That's where we kind of got that modern version of the series where we got the glider, which really kind of helped make levels a bit more dynamic and stuff like that.
Yeah, I like I said, I like Mario Kart 7 a lot. After Mario Kart DS like burned me with the snaking, I was very happy to see them basically fix that with Mario Kart 7, and then also just make like a ton of great courses and kind of really solidify what Mario Kart could be and will be for quite some time, and has been now with Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, which is really kind of like the console expansion of Mario Kart 7. So
Right.
yeah, a great game that my kids still like to play because I have the 3DS laying around and they pick that up and they play that quite often. Although it doesn't have the auto steering, which they use on the
Right.
Switch version.
Kanaka says, my favorite 3DS game is Pushmo, hands down. Lots of
Good game.
amazing games, but this one got me addicted for months. Mario Kart 7. Also, Mario Kart 7 local play was how we would spend lunch at work, getting competitive as fuck on the SNES Mario circuit. And SteamWorld Dig was so good when it came out. Honorable mentions to Zero Escape, Virtue's Last Reward, The Ocarina of Time, and Majora's Mask ports in 3D. And gotta love the speedrun feeling of Super Mario 3D Land.
Yeah, I like Super Mario 3D Land a lot, and yeah, Pushmo was great. Pushmo and Crashmo and the third one I can't remember. All real fantastic puzzle games that use the 3D effect really well.
Arjun says, my favorite 3DS game is the ported version of the Super Mario 64 PC decompilation project that runs in widescreen and 60 FPS with optional high-res models. I hope Nintendo knows that. Man, it sounds like somebody wants to go Nintendo jail with us.
Yeah, welcome, cellmate.
Yeah,
welcome
we got a
in.
spot for
Yeah,
you. You're not getting the top bunk.
yeah. If you have any, what's a Nintendo equivalent to like cigarettes that you would trade? If you have any Yoshi cookies,
E-cards.
E-cards is really good.
I was like, I have the perfect answer for that.
Yeah, if you got any E-cards, I can get you like a pack of gum or something, or like an old broken Game Boy with one button. Yeah.
Oh, I love the lore we're developing for Nintendo Jam. We threw like E-cards as the high value.
Yeah, we've had I think a little bit of fan art for GameSpeak Decides. If anyone wants to do a fan art of us in Nintendo jail, I would love to see that.
Yes, hoarding our E-cards. I guess my favorite official retail game was Mario Kart 7. They took away some of the features I enjoyed in DS, but I still had a blast playing that game. I love the 3DS. 3DS is very good. Wildfire Alex says, my favorite Nintendo 3DS game of all time is The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask 3D. This was already my all-time favorite Nintendo 64 game, and in my opinion, this is the superior version. I love how Nintendo made some slight subtle changes to improve the overall gameplay, and it made the experience that much better. The game was way ahead of its time back in 2000, especially for the Zelda fan base, as it's one of the more non-linear experiences, and I finally feel that the title got its just due on the 3DS in 2015. That's 2015, that's that long ago. Wow. This is one of the few 3DS games I have left, and I never plan on letting go of it. Also because I have logged numerous hours as well as achieving a complete playthrough. Fun fact, I also have the new Nintendo 3DS XL Majora's Mask Edition, and I still love it so much. Honorable mentions go to Fire Emblem Awakening and Kirby Planet Robobot. I have that. That's my 3DS I still use, actually. It's the Majora's Mask XL edition. So that's like still the one I'm playing like Dragon Quest stuff on and whatnot now. I couldn't get into Majora's Mask back on the Nintendo 64, but when they made this port, like just a little bit of the quality of life stuff was helped me get through it a bit, and I do really appreciate this game now. It's fantastic.
Yeah, I in kind of the same where like when I played it again when I got my Majora's Mask 3DS XL that I still use. That's definitely the time when I'm like, okay, I actually do love this game. And now I've got like I played so many time loop games, so I do want to go back to it and play it again. Because I didn't beat it when I got the 3DS one, but I played it a lot and was like, I'm into this. But so now I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go back and actually beat it.
My younger brother just said Majora's Mask is the worst 3D Zelda game in chat, and I just want to say he only says that because he's insecure that I've beaten it and he hasn't, and he's
Ah,
supposed to be the Zelda guy.
oh, the Zelda.
So
Okay,
yeah,
wow.
he's like Zelda's his thing,
Hey,
and I
Chris, next time Mike is like sick or whatever, and I need someone to replace him, you can come on here and defend your honor. You could be
yeah,
the
I
guest
don't know.
host.
I've also beaten Zelda 2, Link's Adventure. He hasn't done that, so I don't
Oh,
know. Like,
wow.
so who's the real Zelda fan here? I remember one time we were younger, he tried to be like, Mega Man's my thing, not your thing. And I
Oh,
was
okay.
furious.
This
I was like,
explains
well,
a
that's
lot
just
about Mike's attitudes, I think.
I was like, well, there's no way that's true. He has since conceded that point. I think that's when I doubled down on the Mega Man becoming a part of my personality, which is always healthy, was because I was just like indignant over his comment
Right.
that one time.
Yeah. You're like, I want to prove it to you, and I'm going to prove it. This is me now.
I'll prove it. I'll buy more things.
Yeah. Some super chats about the topic from Jay Arthur. Hello, Jeff and Mike. Fave 3DS game, almost all Atlas JRPGs, but Radiant Historia Perfect Chronology stands out.
That is very high. So I talked about this kind of last week because this is just like an enhanced version of the DS game. This is very high up on my 2 playlists for JRPGs is Radiant Historia. People kind of compare it to Chrono Trigger a lot. It's supposed to be very good, and I want to get to that one very soon. Any more super chats, Jeff, or am I good to go here?
Nick Turbo just said, was that so hard, Mikey? Ooh, about reading the comment.
Hard.
It was pretty hard.
Incredibly disruptive.
Yeah. Just ruin the flow of the show, which has pretty good flow.
Yeah, we're known for our flow here. So, don't get in the way. Fresh says the best 3DS game is Fire Emblem Awakening. Like many, it was my intro to the series, and coming off XCOM, it was exactly the tactics game I yearned for. It saved the series and somehow still seems to be underrated by most. Tharja is my girl. Yeah, there was kind of a tactics renaissance in general around that time, huh?
There was. And yeah, I think that's when I like rekindled my love for it for sure. Awakening, it's like, okay, this is one of my favorite genres. I liked it before that for sure with like Tactics Advance and things like that.
Well, you were always on board, yeah. But I think like I played tactics games again, like a bit of the original Fire Emblem, but this was probably the first one I really
Right.
fell in love with. Aside from Star Trek Away Team, of course.
Of course.
Napper says favorite 3DS game is The Legend of Zelda: A Link Between Worlds. Jeff, are we normies? Because we both seem to have the 2 most popular answers on this one.
I think for this one, I'm just gonna say we're right. This one's
right.
You kind of just have to be right on this one because those 2 are the apps. I think they are the absolute standout 3DS games. There are a lot of great 3DS games, but like those are easily ones that you can include on top 25 of all time lists and stuff like that. So
you know what's interesting so far is that like on every other one of these portable systems, we've been flooded with Pokemon answers, and no Pokemon yet. And I do think, and I kind of said it last time. I feel like there's a bit of a like downward trend after Black and White. Like no one said X and Y, and now no one's really saying Sun and Moon.
I'm pretty convinced by this argument, Mike. Yes, just based on like, because you're right. Like we've got a ton for the last 2. So yeah, I think you're right.
Although granted, that's also about the time like we don't have any we don't have a really young like people probably watching us, right?
Jaden said that he grew up said they grew up playing it the 3DS. So I'm still pretty shook by that.
True. But anyways, Napper continued about Link Between Worlds. Allowing every item to be bought with rupees from the beginning of the game felt strange at first, but ended up being the best assigned decision. Rupees finally felt valuable, and it made the game feel less linear. Yeah, I'll tell you what, that rent shop, that's one of those things where if you described it to me before I played the game, I would tell you that is awful and that you are ruining Zelda. What the hell is wrong with you? What are you thinking? And then it was great. It was super fun.
It was really fun. Same exact way. And even like going back, I'm like, man, why was it good? And now I'm like, I want to go play it again, and I know it'll convince me again. But just thinking about it just doesn't make a lot of sense as a Zelda game, and yet it works really well.
Mm-hmm. Turbo Sean says, my favorite 3DS game is Shovel Knight. It's on every platform under the sun now, so people might forget that it launched on a console as a console exclusive for Nintendo. It came out while I was in college, and playing individual levels between classes on a 3DS's 240p screen and clicky D-pad felt like a match made in heaven. The game is a masterpiece of a tribute to retro gaming that takes a bunch of the best aspects from old school hits and gives them a fresh coat of paint while adding a healthy dose of new and unique personality. add in an incredible soundtrack from Jake Kaufman and Manami Matsume of Mega Man fame, and it's all comes together to form what I believe is one of the greatest games of all time. Honorable mentions go to Azure Striker Gunvolt and Fire Emblem Awakening. Yeah, I tell you what, any platform that Shovel Knight is on, Shovel Knight is a good answer because God, I love Shovel
it is
Knight.
good, and it was pretty good on the 3DS. Actually, any sort of game that had the 2D graphics with the 3D effect, pretty good. A lot of those were actually really fantastic.
Mm-hmm. Azure Striker Gunvolt's a fun choice.
Yes,
people
that's
don't know
good.
that's when Inti Creates basically started their own Mega Man X style series. And
Right.
so if you like those games, check out that. Canooble says my favorite 3DS game is Legend of the River King 2 on the Virtual Console. The Virtual Console was very good on the 3DS. Like their versions of NES games were great. Like
Yes.
like that's the best version of Mega Man 3 that was ever officially released because it actually fixed the slowdown quite a bit and got rid of some of the graphical glitches. So like that's where I played it. I probably beat Mega Man 3 like 30 to 50 times on my 3DS. I would just play it like every night. It's like, time for bed. I guess I'll play through Mega Man 3 again. Loved it.
Yep.
Nintendo Bro says, I loved Samus Returns and Fire Emblem Awakening. Even A Link Between Worlds was really good too. But my favorite game was Super Smash Bros. For 3DS. Just being able to have a solid entry in the Smash Bros. Franchise as a handheld at the time was incredible, but also had tons of content and played very smoothly. The online experience could have been better, but we all could say that about Smash today, so it gets a pass in my book. Plus, the bonus soundtrack album Nintendo would send out for anyone who had the 3DS and Wii U versions registered to their My Nintendo account is really good, too. Yeah, I was super excited to get Smash Brothers like portably, and it was my favorite travel game easily.
Yeah, you were always playing it during our events and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, it was, if I was in a line, if I was in like a theme park and I was in a line, I would just play some Smash Brothers, like just mess around with a different character I'm not used to playing against CPU or something, and that would kill so much time for me. I loved it.
Yeah, and it really was like almost the full fat Smash experience. Like it was almost the entire thing. Like, you know, you couldn't play crossplay or something like that, but it still was like, yeah, this works as a full Smash game. It was cool that they did that.
Yeah, but like functionally, it was the same as the Wii U version. They had slightly different like bonus modes. Who cares?
Right. Okay.
Like,
yeah.
At different levels, I think. But again, like if you're a tryhard like me, you're just playing on Final Destination or Battlefield or whatever.
Right.
So whatever. But yeah, I mean, it had everything it needed to have.
Yeah, and I think it's cool that someone said Smash Brothers for 3DS because it was like a really it sold really well. I bet it's a lot of people's favorite 3DS game.
Charles says, my favorite games have been taken, but I think Fire Emblem Fates needs some more love than it gets. Yes, it was a bit weird. It places 3 games on one cart. It was a bit weird that so it was 3 games, not on one cart, is what he's saying. But lots of the maps are very creative and enjoyable. Yeah, I liked Fire Emblem Fates, and like the whole 3 campaigns thing was neat. I just don't like it as much as Awakening.
Yeah, same. Yeah. And you know, it was a lot of that comes down to those characters on Awakening were really good, and then you go to new characters and they're still good, but they're not like the characters you loved. So
right, and like that whole like children mechanic from Awakening, they like, which I loved in Awakening, they put it in Fates, but they kind of just like threw it in there and like waved their hand at why it's happening. It was kind of awkward and weird.
Yes, it's like, yeah, you want them to like just go the extra mile to explain this and make it work, and Awakening did it and Fates doesn't.
Right, like I think they were just like, these 2 people got married and then a magical portal showed up and they went there and spent some time and raised the child and then came back. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, all right. Why?
Sure.
Like why? Like with Awakening, it was part of the story. Yeah, whatever. Yeah.
Right, it was weird. Well, time travel was a big part of Awakening, so it made perfect sense and it was great. Giggy says, one of my favorite 3DS games is the turn-based action strategy SteamWorld Heist. Yes. Building upon the success of SteamWorld Dig, Image and Form made a very easy pick-up and play game that works wonders on the handheld, starring a great cast of robots that travel a star system filled with strife. With top-notch turn-based combat, the game is a must-play on the 3DS or any of the other systems since its release.
It is really good. Yeah, 2D XCOM. They made it work. It's fantastic. It's a really good game.
Jake Bogdanov says, without question, my favorite 3DS games are Fire Emblem Awakening and Samus Returns, and a special shout out to Puzzles and Dragons Z plus Super Mario Bros. Edition. Puzzles and Dragons is a fantastic mobile match 3 RPG, but the 3DS version came with a Mario skin campaign that was delightful. I remember that was weird when that happened, and part of me kind of wishes I did play it. I think I'm just a bad person who, like, because there was like a stench of mobile game
Right.
into that. I was like, turned my nose up to it, like, because
Yep.
I'm bad.
Yeah, but I remember playing it a little bit. It was pretty good. It was pretty cool that they made it work on the 3DS. And it really is just like it doesn't have any of the mobile trappings anymore. It's just a good match 3 game.
Anderson64 says favorite 3DS game will likely be one many said, A Link Between Worlds, but Fire Emblem Awakening is damn close. Yeah, see, look, those are the 2 right choices here this time.
Yep.
He continues, A Link Between Worlds is a perfect return to Overhead Zelda with its which is made for handheld, in my opinion. The game and its characters ooze personality, and the soundtrack slaps. Pinball Jr. says favorite 3DS game is Monster Hunter Stories. I never liked the regular Monster Hunter games, but this game gave me a fresh take on the Pokemon style games that I wanted. So yeah, I'll tell you what, the sequel just came out and did really well. I think it already outsold the original, but it's cool to hear that somebody really liked that one. I missed it at the time, but I wasn't even really that into Monster Hunter back then, really, I think.
Right.
But I think that's a series that's going to go, like, Capcom used to have Breath of Fire. Now Monster Hunter Stories is their JRPG franchise.
Yes.
That's what they got. All right. And then Benji Bop here. Look at this. Our last one.
Finally.
He says, Omega Ruby. I mostly skipped out on the 3DS, but had to buy one for a remake of my favorite generation of Pokemon. It was unbelievable to see this game in 3D. But 7.8 out of 10, too much water. Oh no. We're seeing that again. That's right. That was a thing. But Jeff, that's it for their Patreon/Discord responses here.
Listen, I got some good 3DS games I want to talk about.
We got a couple super chats though first.
Oh, okay. Yeah, let me take a look at here. All right, let's see here. So, from Creaky Legs, my favorite 3DS game is Monster Hunter Generations. Capcom was holding group speedrunning tournaments. We didn't win, but I got a huge Rathalos print because they let us take all the decorations after. That's fantastic. And thank you, Creaky Legs. I appreciate that. Listen More says, after the Mario movie is released, this is a different super chat, but we'll read it. After the Mario movie is released, can we lock in a future episode or segment where you and Mike read through the script? We'll do some clips. We'll do some special clips for you.
A table reading, huh?
A little table read for you. Like I said, Mike, I got some good 3DS games I want to talk about. Let me just say, the 3D Outrun game that they released is so good. And really the 3D Streets of Rage 2 as well. And it's cool because it has like the local play. So I would play it on my 3DS. I'd give my wife the other one and she loves Streets of Rage 2. So we'd play that and it would be great. And we'd, have a Colorado night, which is our euphemism for doing drugs. And we would play that game and it was a really good time. And Outrun 3D especially though, I play that game all the time still. The best version of that game, one of the best like 3D retro ports to the 3DS. Just fantastic. The music is great, and then when you're those super scalar effects flying past you in real 3D it's just incredible. It looks good on a 2D screen, but on a 3D screen it's like, oh, this is what it was meant to be. It's fantastic.
Oh man, I actually need to play it. I want to play a lot more of those old Sega arcade games and Super Scores. I really want to play like the like some of their 3D. What was that system platform called that AM2 made with the 3D? Like Daytona 2 was the second one, and now I can't remember the name now.
Right. Naomi?
No, that's not what I'm thinking of. Model 2. So they had the Model 2 arcade things, right? And Model 1, Model 2, Model 3. I want to play like some Model 2 3D games. I hope some of the more of those get ported over. I'll tell you what, I liked Bravely Default a lot, actually. That was another one of my favorite ones.
Yeah.
And it's still weird to me that I don't like Bravely Default 2 very much because a lot of people seem to. It just didn't grab me. Maybe I need to go back to it. I don't know. I even liked Bravely Second. I thought Bravely Second was very enjoyable and cute. Bravely Default 2 has an incredible soundtrack. That is fantastic stuff. I also listened to that final boss fight. That was great. Was there anything else you're thinking about honorable mention wise on the 3DS?
Before Giggy mentioned, I was going to say Steering World Heist, but so I'm glad he brought that up. Let's see. Animal Crossing New Leaf, actually very good. It was a really good game. I played a ton of that. It was cool, and that got like the image sharing features. It was like I remember sharing those pictures on Twitter like when it first came out. And that's like obviously it's a common thing now, but then it was pretty unique. I don't know. Go ahead.
I really want. So somebody brought up Planet Robobot Kirby game for a little bit. I liked that one a lot. I think I liked Triple Deluxe even more for some reason. And I like the Planet Robobot had the mech suit gimmick, which was cool. But Triple Deluxe was just kind of like the first Kirby game that played a lot like Superstar to me. in terms of
Go
you
get on-
get the suits and stuff. It's not just you have like one ability, but you have a move set. And I think the Wii one was actually a bit like that, and I didn't play too much of that. That one also had another multiplayer gimmick to it. Return to Dreamland. The Triple Deluxe just felt really good, really solid level design. I think it actually did some fun things with like the 3D effects in terms of being a 2D platformer with that stuff turned on. And yeah, we didn't talk about that too much. What did you think of the 3D aspect of the 3DS?
I like it, actually. I still like it. I still use it to this day. I remember, like, for years, people were just like, I've never used the 2D effect. I'm like, oh, or the 3D effect. I always keep it in 2D. I'm like, oh, okay. All right, well, I'm going to keep playing in 3D. It's pretty cool. And yeah, I mean, some games definitely worked better than others, but I just kind of always used it and kept it up pretty high, too. I like that depth. It was never what I expected, where it was like, oh, this is going to make moving around in 3D games so much easier because you're going to have that depth. You're going to see exactly where the character is, and it wasn't quite that precise. And a lot of games didn't try to leverage that because they knew some people would be playing in 2D. And I remember like Mario 3D Land, which I don't think a few people I think mentioned it offhand, but no, it was no one's like number one game. Like there was a few aspects where they would try to use that, but overall, I just liked it as an aesthetic. I like the way that 3D looks, even though it's low res and sort of maybe a little cheap looking. I don't know. I don't care. I still.
I think it's cool. I think Link Between Worlds was one that was really
obviously,
did stuff. And so my first E3 was actually the E3 where Nintendo announced the 3DS and had it playable. And I still remember like being in the line to play it, and they had like the booth attendants kind of walking around with like a 3DS literally like tied to their waist, so like you could snatch it, I guess. And they'd be like, here, look at this 3D picture of Mario. And like seeing it for the first time without the glasses and everything, I thought it was the coolest thing ever. I was kind of sold on it immediately. It was super fun. We got a couple more Discord messages here that came in after we started the show, but we can read them.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, so Adge Guy says the best original game is Legend of Zelda: A Link Between Worlds. It lived up to the impossible task of being a sequel to Link to the Past, made great use of the 3D, and even told a cool story. The runner-up is Star Fox 64 3D because that game ruled in 3D. Yeah, I tell you what, like it was just Star Fox 64 and in 3D, and it was still a lot of fun.
Yep. I was just like looking at that too. I'm like looking at the best games. I'm like, oh yeah, I want to like go back and play that again because I remember really liking it for similar reasons that I liked Outrun 3D. I don't know. There's not like a ton of stuff that didn't get mentioned. I guess Metal Gear Solid Snake Eater 3D, was that good?
Yeah, that was actually a surprisingly good port, and it was relatively early too. Well, Mogos87 has a few honorable mentions that he says no one else has mentioned. Citizens of Earth, Detective Pikachu, Disney Magical World 1 and 2. Magical World 2 is coming out on Switch soon.
Yeah, it's coming to Switch. Yeah, they just announced
those
that.
Games, if you like those kind of chill Animal Crossing style games with a Disney theme, that's fun. Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon Shadow Wars 3D. I remember people did like that game, huh?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was just going to mention it. It's one of the games I had in my 3DS for years because it's like I got all this stuff digitally, but that's the one cartridge I had because I think I got it for $5. I feel like I got it at a flea market. It was really weird, but whatever. I got it and I had it for a long time. It's really, really good.
Fantasy Life of Mice and Sand, Rhythm Heaven Mega Mix. Yeah, we talked about Rhythm Heaven's good, and this is just that.
Yeah, right. And same with WarioWare Gold.
Right. And then he says Animal Crossing Puzzle League. I don't think that's a real game.
Yeah, that doesn't sound like a real game.
That sounds just like he's trying to trick us because there's Pokemon Puzzle League and there's Animal. I don't think there's Animal Crossing Puzzle. I think he's trying to trick us. That's not a real game.
I'll say that I was disappointed in Paper Mario Sticker Star. I don't know why I'm bringing that up, but yeah, I was.
I was devastated by Sticker Star because I really liked Paper Mario 1 and Thousand Year Door, and I was really excited for just more of this. And this was the first time it was like, what have they done?
There's a lot of stuff that that was pretty disappointing, on like Poochie and Yoshi's Woolly World, stuff that I had high hopes for and didn't just quite deliver, but still a lot of good games.
Sakelin here, I think that's Sakelin. We'll go Sakelin. Last minute question. This is funny. Last minute question, probably more for Jeff. Have you installed Homebrew on your 3DS yet? And if yes, what Homebrew software can you recommend? Example, the Mario Kart 7 mod, CTGP7. So, somewhat unexpectedly and hilariously, I have homebrewed my 3DS.
He did it. Oh yeah, yes. I remember you doing this because you did it for Dragon Quest, right?
I did it because I had Dragon Quest 8 on there, and I was mad that the US version of Dragon Quest 8 did not have the orchestrated score. It just had like the MIDI music, and I was like, that's bullshit. I want the orchestral music. because I remember just listening to the side by side for 11 because the original release of that game had MIDI music or whatever you want to call that, and then when they brought it over to the West, it got the orchestra. It sounds significantly better. So I'm
Right.
like, I'm not doing that. I'm going to homebrew my 3DS. Now I completely forget what it was called and everything I did, but I did do it that's the only thing I've done too, to be clear. I haven't done any of the other fun things I probably could do. I went through all that trouble just to change the soundtrack.
Yeah, I do know people recommend that Mario PC port, Mario 64 PC port. People really swear by that. So I've only homebrewed an original 3DS, so the 3DS XL, not a new Nintendo 3DS XL, because I wanted to keep my the one that I have all the real games on pure. Although I understand that it doesn't ruin anything if you do that, so I can keep all those games and then just add other stuff. So I might still do that, but if I do, then I'll do that Mario 64 port, which I think requires the new Nintendo 3DS. It's like Nintendo didn't do much with that, but Homebrew apparently did a lot with the new Nintendo 3DS's faster chip. So cool.
Right. I almost forgot Mogos's official answer here, by the way, so I can read this. I was probably too busy having to yell at Nick Turbo. He says his favorite 3DS game is Pocket Card Jockey.
I was going to ask if anyone was going to mention that. Fantastic.
Solitaire horse racing game. Nothing else needs to be said. I haven't played this, Jeff. Is this something I need to play?
I only played it a little bit because I remember people swearing by it, and I remember enjoying it, and then I got distracted, and I've been wanting to go back to it really bad recently, especially because of that the card what's the PlayStation racing game that just got announced for mobile it's a card game. I can't remember the not F-Zero, but then the PlayStation version of F-Zero.
Oh, Wipeout.
Yes. And when they announced that as a racing card game, I'm like, oh yeah, like Pocket Card Jockey. Now I'm like, oh, I want to play Pocket Card Jockey again. So I know a lot of people swear by it, so I'm glad someone mentioned it.
Yeah. I just noticed Bogus even sent in a super chat reminding me that I noticed before I even saw the super chat, so you wasted your money, and I feel bad now. But right. I'm sorry I missed it the first time there.
All right,
so
I'm gonna read it because he's shaming you, so I'm gonna do it. Here we go.
Yeah. Look, I really am a gamer.
It's my favorite 3DS game in the Discord. Do you hate horses?
Kind of, actually. Horses are kind of gross.
You know, horses, their legs evolved from fingers, basically, so they're just really long fingers.
You're not helping. I
know.
I don't like horse teeth. I don't like looking at horse teeth. It's weird. It looks too much like just bad human teeth, and it freaks me out.
I can't remember where this is from, but there's like it's a comedy show, and they're like, oh, we're gonna breed horses that have really small genitals because it makes men uncomfortable. So.
I mean, I tell you what, it doesn't make me not uncomfortable. I mean, I don't enjoy it.
Oh man, that's so funny.
Oh gosh. Look, like pin needles going into my temple right now with this migraine. All right.
Yeah,
I deserve an award.
You know what? Let's wrap this up. Let's just talk about the games we play and get out of here.
We can't wrap it up because in 9 minutes the embargo passes for one of the games I want to talk about.
Oh my god. Okay. Well, we could talk about some of these other things until then, right?
Yes, we can. We'll get there. We'll make it there. But it's a Nintendo game too that I played, so I wonder if anyone can even guess what it is. But Jeff, I mean, we've both been playing that Castlevania. I talked about it a bit, but I really enjoyed Circle of the Moon. I'll tell you what, I forgot how maybe I'll throw this out there. Maybe the reason some people don't like it is because it is harder than some of the other ones, and maybe they're just not as good at video games as I am.
Yeah, I think that people get to like that first boss encounter, and like maybe even a mini boss, and it's pretty tough because you don't have a ton of things right away.
You never have that kind of like backdash that you have in a lot of the other ones to kind of help you dodge abilities a bit more. I mean, look, it's a complaint people throw at Symphony of the Night is that it's too easy. This game is not too easy. This game could be a pretty good challenge sometimes. It's nice here because you have save states and you have the rewind feature. But the last Dracula fight, that is tough. And I probably could have made it easier if I grinded more, if I've gotten like a few more cards. Like maybe I didn't have the perfect card combination. But I was like, no, I want to beat it with what I have, and this is a fun challenge for me. So I want you to tell me if I cheated. Yeah, I don't think I did. There's save states and there's rewind feature. I didn't use the rewind feature. All I did was I created a save state right before you go through that portal and fight the final Dracula, just so that I wouldn't have to run back from the save room every time.
Yeah, that's fine. I did that too, and I didn't have the rewind because I was playing that game because I was playing on the Anbernic, and that didn't have the rewind. Or I didn't set it up at least. You probably could rewind it in RetroArch, but I just didn't set it up. So yeah, I totally just set up a save state right before that Dracula fight. Yeah, because you have to like run to him from the save room, and that's not fair. And like when in those games, I think they like take you to a game over screen, and you have to like go to the
Right.
to the menu and start from there. So yeah, just use the save state. Absolutely, that's
Right.
not cheating.
That's why I like
It's
the save
not.
state,
It's
but-
not a. It's not like the boss runs that you do in Dark Souls or something like that. It's not similar to that.
Oh, I do feel bad. I didn't like finish. There's like that one boss room that's just a gauntlet, and I never did beat that. What do you get for beating that?
I can't remember because I didn't do it this most recent time either. That is tough. That is a tough room.
I really like the castle in that Circle of the Moon, though. I think
Yes, me too. Good layout.
Yeah, it feels sprawling. I like how it almost doesn't have much of a hub, right? It feels a bit more
Right, it feels like you're exploring the whole area like a real castle a little bit. You know, not exactly, but it's like I don't know. Yeah, it's sprawling and like it feels laid out in an interesting way, and you're going through interesting spaces to go from one place to the other, and you notice something strange. You're like, I know I can't do that right now, but I'm gonna be able to do it later, and you remember it and go back to it. It's pretty cool. It's a good game.
Did you have like a go-to loadout? Like what card combinations were you using the most?
I definitely used a lot of. I think it was one where stuff would fly around me. I used that one a lot, but
I had to use the one of. I only used that at the end when you like eat Dracula's eye surrounded by bats that would fly at you.
yeah, that helped with that a lot. Yes, but
hurting me.
I was like doing an intelligence build, and it turned out like I could use almost anything without it using up my my magic because my magic was replenishing so fast. So I would just like have something on constantly, and I guess a lot of that stuff works. But like, there was definitely one that's like, oh, it's just going to do more damage, and so I would
The
use
one that's
that
like you do more damage based off of how much of the map you
Yes,
uncovered. Like
exactly.
normally that would drain my MP pretty fast, but with the right build, I guess you could probably just keep that on. Huh?
Yes, I kept, and I would be able. Yes, I could keep it on. I'm like, I am going because I played it so many times. I'm like, this time I'm just like gonna. I never do intelligence. So I'll just do intelligence this time. And
Well,
yeah, I mean, yeah, it
you
explains a
want to
lot.
play it close to real life, right?
Yeah, exactly. It would do something different for me for once. Yeah, it's a really really good game. I mean, playing it at the time when it came out on Game Boy Advance, I'm pretty sure I played that on a regular Game Boy Advance. But just I don't know, it blew me away. I had not played Symphony of the Night. Instead of going to Ozfest, I just went to Best Buy and sold my ticket, and I got this game instead and went to Taco Bell and played it. And it's still one of my like favorite gaming memories.
That's a vibe right there, Jeff.
Yes, exactly. It's a vibe I felt my entire life.
You're chasing it
yeah,
forever.
exactly. It reverberates to this day in my bones. And I was by myself. I just got my license not too long before that, and it was great. It was fantastic. And that game is exactly the kind of game I want to be playing when I'm in that vibe. So it's great to this day. I'm so glad people are getting a chance to play it. Seems like most people who are playing it are also like Circle of the Moon, very good. I get that Art of Sorrow is maybe a bit more refined for a lot of people, but Circle of the Moon, fantastic.
Have you ever played like some of the other, like you can do a run with where you're like a magician, you just get all the cards
Yes.
immediately. There's like a fighter like run you can do.
So I did that. I've done that a little bit in the past, and I think I might try that again. But I want to do it on the Switch now, so I'll have to like play through that game again. But yeah, no complaints there. I love that.
Yeah. So, and I started Harmony of Dissonance last night, and have been enjoying that. It is funny, like playing them back to back. The minor differences, like the jump physics, are a bit
Right.
different. Like again, if it feels a bit more like old Castlevania here, you're a bit more committed to your jump. You can turn around in midair, but you can't quite make as many like minor adjustments to it. It feels like.
Yeah, people chat like, you sold your Ozfest tickets for what? Whatever floats your boat. Listen, I had been to Ozfest like 5 years in a row at that point. I lived right down the street from Polaris Amphitheater in Columbus, and we would just go every year, and we would get in the mosh pits. And I remember one year we like dug up all the side, threw it all in the air, and I was like, I'm over it. I'm just over it now. So, and I was not over my Game Boy Advance, which was like one of the first systems I was buying with like my own money. I had a job, so. And I just didn't want, like, I don't like being around people most of the time. And I was like, not looking forward to that. So I'm like, yeah, I'll just go do this stuff. And instead it was the best. So yes, that definitely was floating my boat at that time. But yeah, Harmony of Distance, I remember like loving Castlevania Circle of the Moon, really wanting that again. And then Harmony of Distance came, and it's like, okay, there are changes here, and I am not feeling it as much as I like felt Circle of the Moon. But still, it was like by the end, I'm like, this is still a good game. But those minor differences definitely affected my enjoyment at the time. And now I'm like, I could look at it and be like, oh, this is its own thing. And I definitely like having the dash that goes back and forward. I think that's pretty cool.
That does feel pretty good,
Yeah.
especially here because I can map it to X and Y.
Right.
That is one complaint, but I hate any like so many Switch games do this where they treat the shoulder LNR as the main LNR buttons for some reason, and not the much more comfortable and easy to reach trigger buttons. So like if those were the dash buttons, be fine. But I can't stand using the shoulder LNR to dash, so I map it to X and Y here, which I can do. So it is fine. The one disappointing thing about Harvey Dissonance, and I think this is a pretty common opinion, is that the music is not as good.
Yeah.
And the music in Circle of the Moon was fantastic. When you get to like the one of the last major areas, it just starts playing Vampire Killer. Like I was like pumped up. I was so excited. Like the music quality just isn't the same in Harvey Dissonance, and I don't know why that is.
You know, and on the Game Boy Advance, the music was always in every Game Boy Advance game not great because the sound chip was pretty weak in the Game Boy Advance.
But people say a lot of time, and I have to concede that they're right. I never really noticed too much while I'm playing it.
Yeah, and what's cool about this Castlevania collection is they have the uncompressed audio, so you could listen to the compressed audio that's like closer to what the Game Boy Advance was, but you get the uncompressed here, and it still definitely sounds like it's a Game Boy Advance sound chip, but it's like a little bit more clear, and that's really, really cool. But Harmony of Dissonance, you're right, is like, yeah, the music's not quite as great. You know, Aria of Sorrow kind of does wrap it back around though, because I've been playing a lot more of that because I've been playing Harmony of Dissonance on the Amberneck, and the music's great in Aria of Sorrow, and there's a lot of tunes I think they use from Circle of the Moon, and that's kind of what helps.
Yeah. I just want to say, Harmony of Dissonance, that's a fun oxymoron. I never realized that before. Hey, it's 12 p.m.
Let's
Eastern
do
time over here. I gave Super Monkey Ball Banana Mania 5 out of 5, Jeff. What do you think about that?
Wow, I haven't read this review yet, so I'm like, really?
Yes, 5, yeah. No, I'm not fucking kidding. A 5 out of 5.
All right, here we go. Okay, why?
Jeff, Monkey Ball is so good. I forgot how good
I'm
it
so
is.
excited. Did I get a code for this? I'm like, free. Okay, you talk about it. I'm gonna see if I have a code.
It's so this is basically a remaster kind of collection, but like as a package, it's not like you pick Monkey Ball 1, Monkey Ball 2. They just kind of take those levels and they're all here. And they've adjusted a lot of them, but you can unlock the originals if you'd rather play that. So there's this campaign that goes through all of them. But it's Monkey Ball is so much fun. And the big difference here is that it's not like you have like so many lives and you collect bananas to get more lives. And if you die, you have to go back and play these levels you already did a bunch. It is just, no, if you die, you can like retry that level. And the levels are so hard that is much preferable because sometimes it's going to take you 30 tries to beat one of these levels.
Ooh,
and like even like it's not like you can just brute force it. You still have to like get good, as it were. But man, that feeling of being stuck on a level for like 30 minutes and just feeling like I'm never going to do this, and you finally cross that finish line.
Oh, that sounds real good.
That feels fantastic. And I think some people might have been worried about this game on Switch because of Sonic Colors on Switch and how disappointing that port was.
Yeah, fair. Yeah.
No, this one's great. 60 frames per second.
That's good.
Looks good. The only time like it's not 60 frames per second is when you're playing split screen multiplayer, because of course, and by the way, Super Monkey Ball party games, and people were like talking about this back when Monkey Ball 2 came out. They are still so good, Jeff. And it's just those same 12 games here. But I had my two brothers and our friend over.
Didn't you have them over recently to play a game like that was going to have multiplayer and like it didn't work or something?
Yeah, I actually invited them over because I got Diablo 2 code, and I was like, oh, we can all play this because I assume you can, like in Diablo 3. It does not have like couch co-op. And when I thought about it, I was like, yeah, I guess that'd be hard for Diablo 2. Like I wasn't mad about it. But I was like, well, I need to play some of this Diablo, some of this Monkey Ball multiplayer stuff for my review. So like, like we were playing Monkey Brawl, which is like the thing where you all have like those like the extendable punching arm things. You're knocking each other out of the platform, and that's fun. There's Monkey Bowling, which is as good a bowling game as you could possibly need, really. Monkey Tennis, again, it's like not as full featured as Mario Tennis, or like Virtua Tennis, but it's just about what I need from a tennis game, really. Monkey Billiards is a fantastic pool game. But what works is that you can play these things and just go between them. You can swap between them so easily. You can play around a monkey fight. Then you can play a round of bowling. Then you can try like the weird dog fight one, all this stuff. But then Jeff, there is Monkey Target, which is the greatest mini game of all time.
Okay.
No mini game has ever been better than Monkey Target, which is basically, it's like Pilot Wings. You all are like on this ramp. Imagined. You shoot down the ramp. You go up and then you like hover for a bit, and there's targets. There's targets on the other side. You have to like land on the target to get the most points. And we were just having so much fun with this. It sounds so simple, but things get so like insane and hyped. So there's the one where the target area is this strip of land, right? And we're all going to it. So first, my older brother AJ, he just forgets to like deploy, so he just falls like flat, like on his stupid monkey stomach and is flailing around. He missed. So then my younger brother Chris, he lands very well on the second best spot. So he's very excited. And then I come in, not even trying to, just trying to also land on this very narrow thing and just completely run into him. And we just both go and shoot off and drown in the ocean. So we're already giggling and laughing. But then the last person, our friend, he comes in and just like nails it, like lands. It is on the very edge for 15,000 points. And like at the very last centimeter, he stops. We are all jumping up and down, screaming at this point, Jeff, just absolutely going ballistic. It was just so much fun. That was the moment I was like, I'm giving this a 5 out of 5. Fuck it. I don't care if it's like, oh yeah, it's monkey ball again. No, this game is so much fun. If you like playing multiplayer games with like people in the same room, you have to have Monkey Ball. It's still just fantastic, and the single player offerings still super fun. The unlockables are fun. There's like, I like games with unlockables. Ever since Marvel vs. Capcom 2 had you unlock like half of the roster. I don't know why. I love that stuff. But here it's like you can unlock Sonic and Tails to play as, or some other characters. So you can unlock some of those game modes I talked about, like the original versions of some of the levels. You can even unlock a thing that lets you use a jump button in the main game if you want to. Just stuff like that. And it's not like that hard to unlock these things. You earn enough points just from playing the game that you'll be able to unlock what you want. Just been having a fantastic time with goddamn Super Monkey Ball, Jeff.
I am so excited. I found the code. I'm downloading it right now. I am ready to play this game. That's but AJ Minotti in chat says there's a video of something. Is there a video of any of this action?
So I took a video of that thing, and I will have to get it. Yeah. So the Metacritic score for Monkey Ball Banana Mania right now is an 88 out of 100 on the Switch version. There's only 5 reviews. I think my 100 might have inflated it. But it's but like nobody dislikes it. Like the worst score is still just an 80. It is right. It's so good. I love it.
To me, that says like. And this is like something I meant to talk about with Deathloop, but I'm going to mention it this week on the Game Speak Decides. But I love the game. It's great, 5 out of 5. But then the multiplayer ensured it was a 5 out of 5. I think what happened here with you is this is a good game that you really like, and then you also fully got like. You used every part of the banana and had the multiplayer experience you're supposed to have. And if you do that, like the game also delivers on that, it's hard not to be like, okay, I'm having fun over here with this. And then I'm having a completely different kind of great time over here with these friends. That's kind of like the most, you can ask, if you want to ask like your game to deliver on multiple fronts like that, that's a lot. And if it actually does, it's worth recognizing that. So I'm very excited.
You know, I love Switch games that I can play in bed. And here's one, it's like, yeah, I'll try to knock out some of the levels in the campaign. Right now, I'll try, get through that, and that's something that's entertaining to do for a bit, relaxing. Or if I want a longer section, I could just do that. I could play Monkey Ball for 2 hours and be completely happy.
Yeah, that's really excellent. I'm looking forward to this. Man, I haven't played a Monkey Ball, I think, since the GameCube one, really.
So I think, there hasn't really been one. I looked, like the last one came out in 2012, and it was like, I forget what it was for. It was it was for a weirder system. But yeah, I feel like we haven't had like a really good release for Monkey Ball. We've had like compromised ones made for handhelds a lot. Right. Seems like there was one for Game Boy Advance even, which was like impressive for what it was. Excuse me. Apparently I'm losing my voice because I was screaming about Monkey Ball. But man, this is fun. Gosh, I like Monkey Ball. I hope Nintendo, I hope Sega just does more of this. Just like release really good remasters, like new packages of some of its classic games. Like this, like give me a new Jet Set Radio that's like this. Give me a Seaman that's like this.
Yeah, yeah. I think Sega's in such a weird spot because they do some really bad games, and they really just crap some stuff out. And then they also have stuff like this and stuff like Humankind that like delivers on PC. And so it's just like
there's a lot of different arms to Sega.
Yes, yeah. There's a lot of facets to that face. So yeah. Well, I don't know. I'm hopeful that they'll continue to do better. Hang on, I got a kid yelling at me.
All right. Kiminoko 100 asked me what's better, the deluxe edition or the normal version for this. I don't really actually know the difference. I'm assuming they gave me the deluxe edition. They usually do when you get these codes. So I assume it's just some of it's like some costumes and stuff. So probably not a big deal. So I would just look at it. if it was like expensive, I imagine you're probably just fine getting the normal version here. All right, Jeff, are you done yelling at your kid? I think we can now get ready to head out here.
Yeah, no, let's wrap it up, Mike. These kids are not going to be done yelling at me, so no. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. No, you know what? Let's just see. You know what? You're hosting the show. What do we do next?
Well, that's about it. So next week, so we went through all the consoles. I think next week we'll just ask people and we'll talk about our favorite Mario game, whatever that
cool.
means to you. I'm not going to
Very
say
fun.
core Mario game. Just what is your favorite Mario game, and you answer whatever your heart wants to answer.
That sounds good. That's awesome. All right, I'm looking forward to that.
And Jeff, are we going back to Tuesdays starting
Yes.
next week?
So next week we're going back to Tuesdays, and one of the reasons is the little one that's been yelling at me will be in preschool, so we'll do it at 9:30 a.m. Mountain Time. I think it's 11:30 a.m. Eastern and 8:30 a.m. Pacific. Show up then. We'll still be doing it live on YouTube, but we're going to be doing it on Tuesdays again. So back to Tuesdays, everybody. And yeah, that's all I have, Mike, for this week.
All right, then let's get out of here. Thank you so much for listening to Last of the Nintendogs, everybody. We'll be back next week again on Tuesday. That's the wrong song, Jeff.
Nope,
That's the
this is
Cruise
it.
and Blast theme song, guys.
This is our
damn
outro
it,
now,
Jeff.
just for today.
Just for the
Probably
day.
gonna get a
All right,
copyright
that's what we
strike.
got now. Well, Jeff Keighley did ask, like, what song do you guys want played at the Game Awards? And I couldn't resist. I was like, Cruise and Blast.
Yes,
So,
absolutely.
yeah.
That would be fantastic.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Check out Games Beat Decides on Fridays. Check out 90s Disney, my 90s Disney podcast. That is going to have a new episode on the 1st, and it's going to be our Beauty and the Beast interview with the directors of that movie. So we're really excited about that episode.
Oh,
so keep an eye out for that.
Pablo Cost says the Smash character reveal is next week at that time. So maybe we could just do that live and kind of do the show right after.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Yeah, we'll
That'd be
figure it
fun.
out. They're not going to go for like an hour or something like that. I'm Jeff Grubb on Twitter.
He's gonna talk about the moveset a bit, but if we could go after he announces the character.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we could like have it on in the background and have all that stuff. All right, bye everybody.
Bye. This is just the new outro now, isn't it?
Yep.